Alright guys, have to go back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News, and as Sentinel season is pretty much over, Sinatraa and Zombs were in a lobby with ShahZaM, poking a bit of fun about the way their team has been performing as of late, and saying that Zombs and Sinatraa should make their glorious return to the Sentinels roster for next season. What is this team going to look like after the season is over? What changes are they going to make? Is there a possibility that Sinatraa and Zombs kind of theory in this video comes into reality? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Plenty to dive into today. First of all, on the kind of discussion point around the new map. This is all we have so far. We saw this poster a few days ago. This is a kind of further hint. It almost looked like there is kind of water in the sky here. But anyway, this is the map. It's called Pearl. Like, of course, yeah, I guess you get pearls at the bottom of the ocean in oysters and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but in a couple of days' time, pretty sure on the 17th, maybe on the 16th actually, because it's only tomorrow when the playoff games actually officially begin. Then we're going to get some more indication as to how this map actually plays. I know Lothar's going to be streaming in on Friday, so we'll see more about this map, but yeah, this is going to be the new one coming to the map pool rather soon indeed. There was apparently some talk about the fact that the map was going to have 3 bomb sites just like Haven has, but no, it's only got 2, so it kind of remains to be seen what the special feature of this map might be, but it's kind of underwater, so I suppose that's going to be a rather big part of it, you would well imagine. But that's all we have for now on the new map front that is coming soon. This also to mention, because every few days I feel like I'm talking about Chamber, but certainly in the North American side, he's become incredibly popular in the VCT in terms of pick rate. Not actually so much always in the other regions, but I mean, yeah, he's doing stuff like this. Classic Sentinel behavior, to be honest. Like, just getting kills all over the shop. This final kill actually here as well is pretty disgusting as well. Only 23 HP. Comes around, hits the headhunter shot. Just absolutely lovely stuff. But of course, at the end of the day, Chamber has a monstrous pick rate, especially in the North American side. This is the pick rate in the North American region. Of course, you're going to see some agents not even represented here. The likes of, Phoenix, for example. Even though Subrosa did pick him, and Reyna, for example, isn't really used all that much in competitive play at all. But in terms of, agent pick rates, we can see here the Chamber is at 80% pick rate in the North American side. Every other agent is nowhere near. The fact that Jet has fallen up as much as she has done is very surprising. She's very much in the middle of the pack right now. Only 34% pick rate. Chamber's picked 80% of the time on Fracture every time. Most maps, pretty much every time in the North American side, Chamber is being pulled out. And like every other agent is less than 50%, which is kind of remarkable how much of a dominance Chamber has right now in the meta. So I'm sure they're looking at it. Then again though, across the other regions, it's not always the same story. This, for example, is EMEA, including their first 5 weeks of qualification games, and actually Chamber's only at 55% here. He's used an awful lot on Icebox, but actually not all that much on Fracture. Ascent barely used at all, so it is rather interesting how this works out. Then in the European side, he's still the most picked agent, still the most powerful agent, but not picked like as much compared to he is in North America, right? And we can see that actually Omen in North America only picked 28% of the time. In Europe, he's the second most picked agent at 45%. It's kind of incredible how this works out. Jet's still rather similar across the board. This does, of course, depend to a degree on which kind of maps that teams in different regions generally like to play more than others. But yeah, we can see that Chamber still at the dominant agent in both regions, but in North America, certainly the case. So I do wonder if they are looking at Chamber right now, wondering what he can do, because getting rid of that trap was definitely, if anything, it impacted the rest of his team, right? Because it meant that you can't just rely on Chamber to be a Sentinel, which he's pretty much not anyway, in order to actually, give you all that information, right? With only having one trap at the present time, therefore the rest of your team needs to set up more for information and have kind of other guys that can do that type of stuff on the team in your composition. But in terms of raw power, he just does whatever he wants, right? And effectively the whole Jet thing where you could set up shop with an AWP and and take a shot and easily dash away, that's not really the thing anymore that Jet does. That's another thing that Chamber does, right? And Chamber is even stronger because you can do it every 20 seconds and you can teleport to effectively wherever you want on the map. Now before we discuss the Sentinel stuff, I just wanted to mention this real quick from FNS. This region is near perfect in the practice scrimmages. I imagine he's kind of, taking the mick a little bit here and saying this actually, what some of these players do isn't particularly good, because FNS has said previously that some of the teams he plays against are like, okay, what are they doing in practice? Are they even trying to improve? Are they even trying to make sensible plays, or are they just here to effectively just get kills in scrims and have a good time? Because that's certainly what he's thought in the past. Now, and whether he actually means that some of these teams he's playing against are particularly good in scrims, and then when they go into matches, it's another story entirely, right? So that's what FNS says. Thought you guys can kind of read into it, right? And even as some goes, what do you mean by that? So I wonder if NRG were playing OpTic or whatever the case might be, because NRG definitely don't have some of the most, let's say, disciplined statistics. When we look in a second tier at the kind of, second round conversion rates, NRG worst in the league. They're maybe one of the least disciplined teams that you might see in the league right now. And maybe that's one of the points that FNS, of course, Masters 1 champion is getting across right here. This also to mention, though, because, 100 Thieves, they're going into the playoffs. If they don't do particularly well there, then they will be in the last chance qualifier. And as Leaf says, I can see Asuna in person again at the LCQ. So hopefully it actually is in person and is on LAN, as opposed to the absolute disaster cast we had last year for the last chance qualifier for the North American side. If you guys do remember that that one. But yeah, Leaf says he wants to get back in business right here, and Asuna's giving a couple of replies. But the interesting thing is actually that some of these players, Leaf especially, does seem rather concerned about the onset of the franchise side. Nets from Guard even retweets this, me when franchising it, so definitely some concern when the kind of partnership league comes into effect next season, which organizations, which players actually keep their spots. Because even if you are Leaf, if you're Leaf, you're on Cloud9, you should be relatively confident that Cloud9 as an organization will kind of be secured as a partnering team for the league next season. But the concern is that even if you are Leaf or other players on that organization, on that team, then yeah, other players from other teams that don't get a spot will then get considered, right? Because if you're a team like, let's say, Luminosity, they're not going to get a spot. All those players will be free agents on the market for teams to pick up going into next season. The Guard are potentially in a similar boat right here because there's no guarantees they get in for the partnership side. I'm sure they've submitted their application. I think they should be one of the favourites to get it, but it's far from guaranteed with the amount of spots that we do indeed have. And as Net says, day one after franchising, started working a normal job, met some dude with an awesome beard. This of course being Flom. Let me know if any other pros need a job. We have positions available, right? So yeah, definitely some concerns for these pros that kind of the franchising system is not going to help these guys out a lot. And I'm sure a lot of players are going to find themselves in very challenging positions just like this. But some players that should be okay, you would imagine, would be on the Sentinels front. We believe, at least kind of given that their organization is effectively the face of Valorant, their players, TenZ especially, and for other reasons, you would imagine that Sentinels get to spot in the kind of franchising partnership side for next season, but it's far from guaranteed. But even if they do, and that is the case, you would imagine their roster next season changes up very significantly for what is happening this time around. This, of course, is the kind of the bracket for the playoffs. Sentinels nowhere to be found here. They have to hope that Ghost Gaming get double rounded. They have to hope that Ghost lose to EG and then lose to NRG, and if they do, then Sentinels will be just about to the last chance qualifier. More than likely though, Ghost, especially because this is online, will win at least something in this tournament. They will get enough points on the board. They will overtake Sentinels, because right now Sentinels at 45 points, you guys can see here on the left hand side, and all the teams below them pretty much, Luminosity, 100 Thieves, NRG, TSM, EG, FaZe Clan, are all going to overtake them to the point where they're pretty much on the borderline. If Ghost Gaming win anything at all at the playoffs, then Sentinels are officially out, at which point Sentinels season is officially over, which it almost certainly will be. So therefore you've got to ask the question, what is the team going to be next season? Sinatraa, Zombs, ShahZaM were kind of in a lobby, they were talking about stuff, and then Sinatraa, Zombs make a couple of nice clutches, and then they were like, okay, well, we should form a team. What should we call it? Maybe Sentinels. ShahZaM's probably trying to hide the awkwardness to some degree of this whole conversation, which does make you wonder what this team is going to look like next year, because Zombs and Sinatraa are like, maybe we'll get back in business right here. Sinatraa especially has made it clear the last couple of months or so he wants to get back into competing. Sentinels would be the perfect organization for him to come into. If the opportunity opens itself up, then I wouldn't be surprised to see him on this team next season.
I got him. We're going
We should make a team.
Call it what?
Sentinels.
I bet.
50 on Omen.
One enemy remaining.
Sheesh. When he's running a team.
No one wants me.
You're actually brain dead.
No one wants me.
You're actually brain dead.
So of course there is a very long way to go in order to determine what this team is going to be for next year. The likes of Sick and TenZ, I'm sure, like if you're a Cloud9 or if you're another organization, or if you're one of these big teams, maybe struggles through the end of this season, want to make some moves, maybe some of the Sentinels guys you can actually try and target and pick up, where you've got the likes of dapr, like Zombs and Sinatraa, of course, sitting there inactive on the team at the present time. If they do want to come back into competing, and if Sentinels is the kind of destination they want to find themselves in, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they decide to make some significant moves. I can't imagine Kanpeki's going to stay on this team for too much longer, but I do feel bad for the kind of situation that he was thrust into. But also, is it possible these guys go elsewhere, right? If Zombs does want to compete, which maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but like there might be other spots opening themselves up on other organizations, other teams, because these guys of course have had an awful lot of success in the past. This just current iteration has been disastrous pretty much for the last few months though. But these players on other teams could certainly still be particularly good. And I mean, yeah, Sinatraa and Zombs are kind of saying maybe it's time to get back in the team. ShahZaM doesn't really want to say too much about it, right? Because I'm sure he's wondering what his future is going to be as well. So definitely tweet your perspective on that one in the comments comment section below. What is this team going to do next season if, of course, they do get a spot in the franchise league, which we would expect they will. But hopefully whatever team they do field, if that is the case, is significantly better than what has happened these last couple of months, because these statistics definitely do not paint the greatest picture. Will Miner with a few interesting stats right here. This is the pistol round win rate of all the teams in the group stage. Evil Geniuses won 17 out of 22. I think they won like 14 in a row or something just outrageous. 100 Thieves also have a pretty good win rate. Some teams, like even Sentinels, that are 0-5 overall, but 10 out of 22 of their pistols they won, so not too bad there. A lot of teams at 50-50 though, as you might expect. This then is the second round conversion rate. So when you win the pistol, how often do you convert the second rounds? This happens like the most disciplined teams like Cloud9, Evil Geniuses, all these guys at the top here, converted every single one. Sentinels converted 9 out of 10, not bad. The worst team by quite a margin here actually is TSM, I suppose, but also NRG, only converting 6 out of 10 of their second rounds on the pistols. That's pretty tragic. That certainly did not help them this stage. We've also got this from Willminder, right? The top 10 players in multi-goal percentage during the NA VCT group stages. This are, just the players individually. I believe that TenZ was kind of top 15 here, just outside at about 20%. This is the percentage of rounds where a player got more than one kill in the round. And it's babybay, Nismo, Yay, Jorgamo, Dicey, the top 5. B-Dog there or thereabouts as well. Definitely some other players of note also. But yeah, this top 5 definitely kind of correlates rather nicely with the players of the stage in general. Wanted to finish up with this absolutely ridiculous 1v5 here from Dephh that I saw yesterday. This is an unbelievable play. Waits so long, gets the 1-2-3 kills, close out the 1v5 as well. No idea really what these last two guys were doing. But honestly, I mean, this is just a disgusting 1v5. But very much enjoyed your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us your YouTube gods, that's a good video. I'd also like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you guys as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
Build is going to make it a little more difficult to get in round on this one. Something gets taken. Oh, uh-oh. Shed, you were literally looking there a second ago. Oh, Devo. He's waiting.
One,
Shh, wait,
two,
wait.
three.
1, 2, 3! There we go! It's beautiful, and now it's just Summer left with Yesmond holding up in heaven. The showstopper doesn't get much, but he finds the head of Yesmond. It's a 1v1. Now he has a spike in his hands. He can rotate back round to B if he wants. I think he's just going to cut noise and wait. He wants this ace. He wants to kill Sutma here. And he's just round the corner. He finds the head of Sutma. Gets the ace. What an incredible